Good morning, traders. I am Emily Bonney, the CEO of the Investment Banking Institute and your host here at NewsWare's Trade Talk. Joining me is trading anchor Bill Olson, who brings more than 30 years of institutional trading experience to our program. At Trade Talk, we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Today is Thursday, February 29th. As we await the bell on this final day of trading in February, investors are awaiting a fresh batch of data on inflation, anticipating the latest data has stalled stocks throughout the week, and markets ended in the red but nearly flat yesterday. The Dow gave up 23 points or 0.06%. The S&P 500 closed off by 0.17%, and the NASDAQ lost more than 0.5%. Bill, let's get into today's action with what is happening in the markets this morning.
Yeah, I'm watching the S&Ps. We're down 0.22%, a little over 0.2%. We're really trading near the morning lows. It's all about the PCE report that's being released today, 1 hour before the market opens. That's really going to be the key report that's going to create the direction for the market today. I mean, I saw that the top congressional leaders have reached a deal to keep the federal government fully operational beyond Friday. Okay, that's great, but it's about the PCE report. Now, you look over Europe and you saw that those inflation reports out of Spain and France, they were not horrible. They showed further disinflation. Numbers were good, not great. You're looking at those markets overseas and you look at the DAX, it's up 0.4%, or 70 points. You're looking at the FTSE, it's up 26 points or 0.35%. The CAC, on the other hand, is relatively flat. It's down 7 points or 0.09%, about 0.1%. Last night in Asia, we did see some moves. I mean, Tokyo fell 41 points or 0.11%. There was a Bank of Japan official delivering hawkish remarks. And remember, that central bank is really going to start raising rates this year. So people are starting to sell equities because they know that the rates are going higher. In Hong Kong fell 25 points, which is 0.15%, nothing significant. China, on the other hand, China jumped almost 2%, 1.94%, which is 57 points, because next week the National People's Congress is meeting. I believe their meeting starts on March 5th, and there's talk of additional market support coming out of that meeting. So that's really the key. Now, we're keeping an eye on oil as always. Oil is mixed. This morning we got WTI at $78.69 a barrel, whereas in Brent's at $83.52 a barrel. That those EIA, the stockpile reports yesterday, that build was greater than expected, but not as bad as what the API indicated. But we are seeing some, mixed results in oil this morning. That's what I have for you in terms of morning market report, Emily.
And Bill, in just a few moments, we're going to get to the day's economic events, including that PCE report that we both mentioned. There's plenty of other things to be watching when it comes to things like Fed speak. But before we get there, we're going to get into some earnings action. Bill, what is going on in terms of earnings today?
Snowflake, ticker SNOW, Sam, Nancy, Oscar, William, they beat by 17 cents on higher revenue, but they have a guidance issue. You look at that stock this morning and it's down 23%. Wow. Salesforce.com, CRM, Charlie, Richard, Mary, they beat by 3 cents on higher revenue. There's a little concern about its guidance. Stocks, kind of essentially flat, down 0.26%. The earnings call will show that, that the executives in the company are really bullish on the company. They're still excited about what's going on. I think we're going to see Salesforce.com, which is trading, $299 now. It's going to be pushing over 300 today. NetEase, ticker NTES, they missed by 11 cents on lower revenue. Best Buy, ticker BBWI, boy yellow, they beat by 21 cents, and they did that on higher revenue. You look at Best Buy this morning, and that stock is trading higher by 2.66%. Upcoming this afternoon, we have Zscaler, ticker ZS, Zebra Sam, their EPS is 58 cents. Expected move here is 10.30%. We got Autodesk, ticker ADSK, Apple, David, Sam, Kilo, their EPS is $1.95. Expected move is 6.50%. And then we got Dell Technologies, ticker DELL, David, Edward, Larry, their EPS is $1.73. Expected move is 8.85%. NetApp, ticker NTAP, Nancy Tom, Apple Paul, their EPS is $1.69. Expected move is 7.27% when they release this afternoon, Emily.
And Bill, now on to the day's economic events. Again, all eyes on that PCE report, but give us a rundown of everything we should be watching when it comes to economic events.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot going on today. With 8:30 a.m. personal income and outlays. That's the PCE report. They also at 8:30 we get jobless claims. At 9:45 we get the Chicago PMI. At 10 o'clock we get pending home sales. And you get Fed speak. Like at 10:50 we're going to be hearing again from Raphael Bostic, the Atlanta Fed Bank president. At 11 a.m. we're going to hear from Chicago Fed Bank President Austin Goolsbee. At 1:15 p.m. we're going to be hearing from Cleveland Fed Loretta Mester. And then at 8:10 p.m. this evening, John Williams of the New York Fed will be speaking. So yeah, there's a lot. PCE data expected to show consumer prices weakening, but too slow for a quick shift in interest rates by the Fed, that's for sure. We're looking, I see, the core PCE core on an annual basis is anticipated to decrease from, 2.9 to 2.8. I think it'll decrease. I think it's going to stay at 2.9. We'll have to wait and see. But that's the big number that everybody's going to be looking for. That's what I have for you in terms of economic data coming out today, Emily.
And if all of that is not enough to be watching today, the economic data, the earnings reports, you're still following along with other market moving information. News, data coming out of things like merger news, guidance news, shareholders meetings, buyback news, other catalysts. You're looking at your FANG stocks group together, your Dow 30 stocks group together. So Bill, what else do you see is possibly moving the markets today?
Looking at my Dow stocks, I get 6 Dow stocks higher. 2 or 3 are lower, and the rest are lower. 2 or 3 unchanged, 6 higher, the rest are lower. So yeah, it doesn't look good going into the morning. You're looking at your FANG stocks; they're all trading lower, about 0.5% in aggregate. Those that weak earnings report, the weak guidance from Snowflake is really hitting that stock hard this morning. So I'm concerned. Airlines are off. Autos are mixed, banks are mixed, drug stocks are showing some weakness, retail stocks are lower, semiconductors, I'd say they're mixed to lower, really. I mean, NVIDIA is showing a gain, but the rest are trading off. Getting into some of the news behind the tape, like Apple, the news is out there that Apple sunk $10 billion into that now canceled car project. Meta Platforms, Supreme Court is looking into laws to restrict editorial rights. And Netflix, ticker NFLX, Verizon announced a new Netflix premium that goes along with AMC and an ad-free streaming bundle. So you get Verizon, the telephone service, Netflix, and AMC all together for one price. Interesting. We're talking Dow Jones 30 stocks, Boeing, ticker BA. Stock is trading off about 1% this morning. Justice Department is looking into Boeing's door plug issue that they had. Microsoft, ticker MSFT, security software practices are being probed by EU regulators. Looking at Microsoft this morning, stocks down 0.3%. Salesforce.com again, listen, the stock is now trading over 300. It's trading higher. I just said that. Here's what I want you to know. They have a conference going on next week. As I said, Salesforce, on their earnings call, the results were not as bad as what was going on with the stock price, and the executives were bullish. And that sales conference next week could be a benefit to the stock. And who else is having a conference next week? NVIDIA, ticker NVDA. I mean, yeah, that could run into that conference next week. Something to keep an eye on. We're talking merger news. FA, First Advantage, Frank Alpha. First Advantage is going to be acquiring Sterling Check Corp for $2.2 billion in cash and stock, I saw this morning. Talking guidance news, Jazz Pharmaceuticals, that's ticker JAZZ, John Apple Zebra. They see full year 2024 adjusted EPS of $18.15 to $19.35. The street estimate was at $19.94. It's a big downtick for Jazz Pharmaceuticals. Salesforce.com, ticker CRM, they see Q1 adjusted EPS $2.37 to $2.39. Street estimate was $2.20. That's an uptick. Stocks up 0.2% right now. We're talking AI, Apple India. They see Q4 revenue coming in 82 million to 86 million. Street estimate had it at 84 million. That's right in the middle. That's good. Snowflake, ticker SNOW. They see Q1 product revenue coming in between 745 million to 750 million. Street estimate was 769.5 million. See, that's the downtick. That's why we're seeing the weakness in Snowflake, ticker SNOW, Sam Nancy Oscar William. We're talking shareholders meeting now. Rev Group, ticker REVG, Richard Edward Victor Grace. They're having a shareholders meeting today at 11 a.m. Talking buyback news. Salesforce.com share buyback authorization increased by 10 billion. Bed Body Works, ticker Bed Bath and Body Works, ticker BBWI. They announced a 500 million share repurchasing program. Excel Services, ticker EXLS, Edward, X-Ray, Larry, Sam. They announced a 500 million share repurchasing program. And CRH Corp's Charlie Richard Henry, they announced a 300 million share buyback program. Let's talk catalyst calls. Digital Reality, ticker DLR, David, Larry, Richard. Citibank opens up a 90-day positive catalyst watch on the stock. American Airlines, ticker AAL, Apple, Larry. Citibank opens up a 30-day catalyst watch on the stock. Positive catalyst watch on the stock. And GoDaddy, ticker GDDY. Citibank opened up a 30-day positive catalyst on GoDaddy. So three stocks Citibank came out with positive catalyst watch on today. That's all positive. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about those, Emily.
This is the type of data that NewsWare delivers daily. It's factual, it's market moving, and our alerting functions bring it to your attention as it happens. Go to www.newsware.com now and sign up for the trial and see for yourself the benefits that professional Newswire delivers. We've now made it to that time of the show for the Trade Talk pick of the day. Bill, what is your pick of the day today?
I'm going with Dell Technologies, ticker DELL, David, Edward, Larry, Dell Technologies. Earnings are out after the bell. EPS $1.73, expect to move 8.85%. Call volume, 19,711 calls against 11,389 puts. That's positive. Open interest, 75,293 to 47,898. Yeah, I do like that. Now, the major brokers are positive on the stock, but the price target increases are on the lower end of where the current stock price is. And then you got this PCE report, which could push this market lower. So it's hard for me to kind of do a price target here, but I'm going to say 91-ish, 91 area. If the stock gets to 91 or under, I that's where I feel I'm comfortable running it for a gain this afternoon when ahead of the earnings. But that's my pick of the day. Dell Technologies, ticker DELL, David, Edward, Larry, Emily.
Dell, it is today, Bill, and coming up, yet another earnings play. Yesterday, you were playing one ahead of their earnings, so we're going to see how that worked out when we do a recap on that pick of the day, so don't go anywhere. But first, let's take a look at the current breaking headlines that have hit the tape in our hot off the press segment. Bill, sending it back to you.
Okay, let's see what we have here. Wells Fargo sees limited equity upside ahead this year. CC, this is an S&P 500 company. Charlie Chambers, they placed the CEO and CFO on administrative leave. Ooh, that's ugly. Stock's down, 36% this morning. Oh, something funny's going on with that company. Best Buy, ticker BBY, increased its quarterly dividend 2% to 94 cents a share. Wendy's, I remember yesterday I mentioned that Wendy's was talking about surge pricing. They walked that back. They got a lot of backlash from it. They walked back those comments and they came out and said, we're not planning on doing surge pricing. It was just something we were considering, but we're not planning on doing it. Okay, SEC has examined internal documents of CEO Sam Altman as part of a probe as to whether or not he misled investors. See Jack in the Box is having a shareholders meeting tomorrow at 11:30 for JACK. Weight Watchers, ticker WW, during, they announced their earnings and at the same time they announced that the departure of Oprah Winfrey from its board of directors. Ooh, that hurts. There's some chatter United Health Group about some hackers in the company yesterday. That's all I have for you today, Emily.
Okay, Bill, before we get to trading today, let's do that check-in on yesterday's pick of the day, which was NetEase. We did hear your earnings during your earnings report rundown. They did report earnings this morning. The company reported a Q4 EPS of $1.60. As you mentioned, that was below the consensus estimate of $1.71. They reported Q4 revenue of $3.82 billion. The consensus here had been $3.94 billion. However, the company's net profit rose 67% from a year earlier. Still not really what investors were anticipating, but you were playing this one ahead of earnings yesterday, Bill. How did your call work out?
You know what the difference between an investor and a trader is? Traders make money. Look at the fact the stock opened up at $113.65, and I was like, man, I'm not paying that. I was more comfortable at $112, and sure enough, it opened up really high, fell down. What was yesterday's low? $112. I couldn't believe it. That's just pure luck. But I was able to get in, around that area, and then I just sat on. And next thing you know, it rallied. It just started moving higher and higher and higher. And it actually, by 1 o'clock, it was at $113.77. 112 to 113.77. That's more than 1%. So take it. That was a win. Grab that money off the table and don't look back. And NetEase, ticker NTES, winner yesterday. Thank you.
A win, taking that gain when you see it. And we will check in with you tomorrow about today's DELL pick of the day and see how February ends up. Bill, thank you as always for your expert insight. Join us back here tomorrow to end your trading week with NewsWare's Trade Talk, when we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Again, I'm your host, Emily Bonney, here with trading anchor Bill Olson. Traders, you know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.